Peace and blessings, everyone. Welcome back. Queen Osset here. I hope everyone has had a wonderful weekend, and I hope that you're preparing for this full moon in Aries that is coming our way tomorrow. Now, today I want to talk just a little bit about how to work with this energy, tap into it a little bit more to our benefit, as well as being an empath and balancing those energies. So the energy with this full moon in Aries is actually going to be quite intensive. You have the first astrological sign of the zodiac with falling into a full moon. So everything is ramped up, powered up. And many of us may experience a feeling of aggression, speed, acceleration, and all of that. And for those of us who are empathic, you may feel this energy a bit more. You might feel that more aggression than you normally do. You may feel more sensitive to slights that you may experience and all of that. Okay. Now, as an empath, and that's myself and you, we have to learn to keep ourselves in balance. And one of the things that we must keep in context is that as Maia says, it's not our job to absorb the energies of the world. Now, I know a lot of people who are empathic, and that seems to be the preamble to what they're going through. Excuse me. I'm empathic, so I'm sensitive. Well, you're not the only one that's sensitive. Many human beings, believe it or not, are sensitive to each other and all of that. You just can't define it. And hence, that's why we tend to react and respond in a certain way to certain things that are going on. It doesn't necessarily make it bad. The energy may not even be negative. It may just be inappropriate. I, for one, don't like to use positive or negative energy. I believe that energy is energy, and it's all created from the source, whatever name you want to give that. I don't believe that there is an absolute negative or an absolute positive to anything. It's what we decide to do with it. So sometimes that particular energy may be inappropriate. Okay, so when I say inappropriate, I always like to think of a toddler. You have a mom who has 3 or 4 children, and she's absolutely okay with the toddlers climbing all over her. When my son was little, that was fine. He can climb all over me and do his thing and all of that. And now that my son is an adult, I don't want him climbing all over me and, tugging at my hair and all of that. That is inappropriate, right? Also, I don't want someone else's toddler climbing all over me. That's inappropriate. It's not necessarily wrong. It's just that for me and where I am right now, it's just not something that I want to entertain in my space. So that's the same thing that I feel with different energies and different vibrations that are out there. So again, we'll talk about the moon in a little bit. Full moon in Aries. I hope you guys have been working on your manifestation. So we get this Aryan energy, Aryan energy coming into play. And, the planning that we put into place for Virgo and the dreams that we had during Pisces and all of that. Now we're supposed to take it to the next level and put these things into action. All right. Now, we just had, what is it? I don't know, Mabon. Okay, we just had the fall equinox, so the days are going to be getting shorter, and you want to wind down, and you want to become more internal, and you want to be more relaxed, and you don't want to be so active, and yet you have this energy that's asking you to push a little further, do a little bit more before the darkness truly settles in. So I'm just going to go over some things real quickly in regards to this Aries energy tapping in. Now, Aries falls into my 9th house, and my 9th house is about fathers and mentors and spirituality and teachers, good fortune, so education, all of that, right? And one of the things that you should be working on is look over your new moon intentions to see if you're still in alignment with that. Again, write down everything that you are currently appreciating, no matter how small. And get ready to bring your manifestations forward with the energy of the full moon by really sinking into them. So in my last lunar journey video, I showed you the growth, the progress of the 3 seeds that I had planted at the new moon. And there's nothing like visually seeing your intentions come to life. So we can do a quick check-in. I have a full moon spread here. I am also going to put a link to Ethany. Let's see, she has a full moon in Aries spread here. Okay, we're going to check in and do that. Now, on to being or working with your empathic gifts. You see behind me over here a selection of crystals. When this energy is at play, you want to work on being as grounded and as rooted as possible so that you don't experience what I call lift-off, especially with the full moon. Many of us are already affected by the essence of the full moon, and that is why I suggested a blue candle as opposed to a black candle. And because it's in Aries, and I'm a fellow fire sign, I'm going to work with an orange candle as well to really tap in and hone in that Aryan energy so that my desires and my intentions are not impeded by the overwhelming sense of emotion that's usually experienced at the full moon. I also know that many people do a lot of releasing work at the full moon. I do not. The full moon for me is at her most fullest, her most powerful, her most lush and abundant. I have been working and focusing on my attentions so hard up to this point. It's like, what am I releasing? I'm not in that place of releasing anything. I have worked to remove any obstructions and any obstacles, and I just want to take full advantage of Mother Luna. So one of the things I like to do, I like to stand outside, weather permitting, and just put my hands up and just say, fill me up with your blessings and abundance. And I also like to open up my wallet and ask her to fill up my wallet too. Now, I know a lot of people like to charge their tarot cards and their crystals and all of that. Do what works for you. But sometimes, you know, you may want to try something a little bit different. Instead of releasing, think about what it is that you're releasing. Flip the script and focus on the good stuff that you want to bring into your life and see how that works for you. You can always go back to your releasing ritual the next 28.5 days, but just try something a little different now, especially since we were working with this tangible energy of the Virgo new moon. Okay, so on to being or working with your empathic gifts. I like to use crystals to keep me grounded, keep me clear, keep me focused. I am not one of those that needs to or feels that I need to shield myself totally off in anything. I still need to connect with people. I do readings every day in person. And yes, it can be daunting. It can be energetically draining. But I have put a lot of systems into place so that I don't feel depleted. So one of the crystals that I do like to work with is, let's choose this one, smoky quartz. And smoky quartz gives me that protective energy without totally shielding me off. It allows me to still remain in contact with my client and still be able to keep that connection going. Smoky quartz. Many of you are familiar with amethyst as well. It's not one that I use a lot of, but this is another protective stone. For me, fluorite is a stone, a crystal that I work with as well for its protective energies. It allows me to be very clear, hopefully, when I'm communicating, keeping my thoughts clean and clear. This is a raw piece of lapis. I wear a piece, tiny, tiny piece. It's not about size. This also has protective qualities as well. Keeps me grounded, keeps me rooted, but not so anchored that I become stubborn and I'm immovable. Of course, I like obsidian. I mean, obsidian is the black stone that I work with. I'm not a black tourmaline fan, but obsidian is one of those stones that brings a lot of things to the surface for you to deal with straight off the top. So if you're not grounded and ready to delve deeply, then I would suggest that you work with old familiar black tourmaline. And I know this is a favorite for a lot of people. Not one that I particularly care for a whole lot, but it's there for people who like to use it. I wear tiger's eye. I have copper, of course a lot of tiger's eye. I have smoky quartz here, labradorite, and shungite as well. Okay, but my overall favorite crystal to work with that neutralizes everything and keeps everything clear for me, and it doesn't need any cleaning, and you all know this, is selenite. And selenite is good for, you know, taking care of my auric shield, the energy around me. Never needs cleaning, doesn't need charging. That's another thing, I don't charge my crystals. I mean, they're bones of the earth. They already come fully equipped. And it's just something that I love. And when I'm working with my clients, I tend to have a piece on the table for those clients who may be nervous or a little bit shaky. It's not unusual for a client to sit at my table and burst out into tears, and we haven't even done anything yet. It's almost like something energetically just causes them to release. And so I hand them a piece of selenite to calm them, soothe them, relax them, and keep them safe and make them feel safe and grounded. So as an empath, these are tools that you can work with. Okay, again, the mantra is, it's not your job to absorb the energies of the world, you know. I got this mantra from Maia, and I'm going to read to you what she says. She says, say it loud, even if you don't believe it. It's not my job to absorb the energies of the world. Why is this important? Because when you're taking on other people's grief and loneliness, when you are pulling in others' pains, you are attracting and attached to those feelings, and you are pulling those feelings towards you. It doesn't serve you or anyone else. And she says, burn it off, sage it off, declare self-sovereignty. Your aura, your skin will not be breached. And she says here, otherwise you're swaying in the wind, pulled by the highs and lows of every creature on this planet. And she talks about rereading a journal that she wrote in many years ago, and she had nightmares, and you know, the thoughts couldn't stop. When she was younger, it was, you know, the bombs on the buses and the burning airplanes and the screaming as the earth cracked, all of this. She said that she was a radio station tuned into the disasters of the world. Now, the reason why I want to talk about this, especially now, we've got this full moon in Aries. You know, it's a full moon in the sign that is ruled by Mars. And Mars is all about what? War, aggression, assertiveness. It can be anger. It can be driven, passionate, all of this. And then you've got the full moon. Lunacy at its finest. I mean, we really have to work hard over the next few days to keep ourselves grounded. Keep yourself here, keep yourself clear. Not shut off, but aware and mindful, okay? So she goes on to say that she was more than a little bit proud of her ability to tune in and read the vibes and to wake up and have the bus bombing confirmed by a newspaper, etc. You know, sound familiar? So, you know, I'm an empath and I got this feeling and I'm sensitive and I know this feeling and I can confirm this. Okay. And yet in the meantime, what's going on with your life? What's going on with your physical health? What's going on with your mental health? Okay, you know, you're supposed to be doing something to keep yourself grounded and focused where you are. So, she says, us empaths secretly or not so secretly revel in being empaths. And the way that we can prove to ourselves and those around us that we are empathic is to continually have these experiences. But then we have headaches and nightmares, and we are sad inexplicably and worried almost constantly. And then she talks about how to control empathy. And she says it begins with the simple decision to declare self-sovereignty. It begins with saying in our heads and our hearts, it is not my job to absorb the energies of the world. It is not my job to absorb the energies of the world. And she says, when we declare self-sovereignty, we don't cut off our psychic antenna. We simply choose when to power up. You have a responsibility to no one else, first and foremost, outside of yourself. You get to choose when to power up. You get to choose when to tap in. Okay, so I know a lot of this could be, you know, new. Maybe you don't know what to do. So I have a couple of books I'm going to show you that I've been just going through. And I want to thank Kim over at Abundant Life for bringing some of this stuff to my attention. And even as tarot readers, there's something else that I did not know. And I got this book. So one of the first books I got was by Judith Orloff. And it's the Empaths Survival Guide. And in here, you can take a mini quiz to find out what sort of empath are you. You know, are you an empath that is, you have food addictions, you know, what sort of illnesses could manifest, how to work with different things, how to work with or recognize indigo children, crystal children, sensitive boys, dealing with energy vampires and such, and working with these tools. And one of the things that brought to my attention here was the eating and weight gain. I mean, where I work, I'm on my feet all the time. I'm moving about all the time. And yet, I gained an incredible amount of weight in the past 3 years since I've been at this job. I mean, I worked in an office where I sat on my behind 8 hours a day, and I was maintaining my weight. Of course, I was physically active and all of that, but now I just felt that being here, you know, this inexplicable weight gain was just something that I needed to address. I mean, I don't feel bad about it. You know, I'm more luscious than I used to be, but still, you know, you kind of want to figure out what's going on. So I started to, of course, change my physical activity and pay attention to what I ate and cut down on the sweets, to, you know, manage some things and all of that. Okay. And then the next book that Kim talked about was The Awakened Empath. Okay. And it's the ultimate guide to emotional, psychological, and spiritual healing. So The first thing that I opened up to was take a vacation. A couple of weeks ago, I know I had done a video where I said I can't remember the last time I took a vacation. I took 5 days off from work, and all I could do was stay in the bed. I had no desire to do anything. I got up, I used the facilities, got something to eat, and went right back to bed. Now, I didn't sleep the whole time. I just laid in bed and vegged. I was surrounded by books. I watched YouTube. I watched videos, but that was it. You know, usually I'm on the go and I'm doing things. I'm getting things done. That's really not how I wanted to spend 5 days, but apparently my psyche, my body, my soul needed to just do that. So, another thing that Kim showed us was this little book, Tarot Spreads for Empaths. And I've been looking at this. This is a book to help you figure out mine or theirs. Different spreads for different times when you may be dealing with certain situations. How to withdraw. Is it yours? You know, when to use a spread. This section gives you an overview of the best time to use a spread, whether it's for a specific situation in your life or a time frame. You have an everyday empath spread. Okay, and this is just to do a check-in. And one of the things that I like about this book, it has crystals to work with. My energy spread is a 4-card spread here. You know, the energy you're giving out, how it's affecting you, how is it affecting your loved ones. And then the crystals, blue lace agate, yellow jasper, chalcedony. Just different things, toxic relationship, when to use, you know. So you might want to take a look, for those of you who are empaths, to really tap into that energy and have it work for you, get beneficial, or make it beneficial to you and your growth. So remember, I declare self-sovereignty. It is not my job or your job to absorb the energies of the world. Keyword is being absorbed. You have a choice. You can, because as an empath, we have certain gifts that allows us to be more compassionate and healing to other people without being fully absorbed into the stuff that's going on. When I was in the military, one of the things that I had learned is that if you are with your buddy and they get hurt, you are not to use your first aid kit on them. You're to find their first aid kit because you need that for yourself. So in essence, you have to take care of yourself first before you can take care of anyone else. You have to be strong and rooted and secure within yourself so that you are able to give healing and discernment to anyone else who may need it. So with that, I'm hoping that you guys are ready to absorb and work with and embrace the full moon in Aries energy. Oh, I should show you one more crystal. Oh, this baby. Okay, so while I do not like black tourmaline, I do love tourmalated quartz. You know, it's clear quartz with bits and pieces of tourmaline. And the reason why I like this is because I think it gives you that balance that is needed. I have a crystal book here, and she talks about, this is Margaret Ann Lembo, and she talks about tourmalated quartz is connected to energetic connections. And the affirmation is, I am mindful of the energetic connections between myself and others. I automatically sever unhealthy strings of attachment. I am grounded and focused. I relax in nature to regenerate and rejuvenate my energy field. My body easily deflects electromagnetic frequencies. I balance myself with fresh air and sunshine. So it helps work with, getting that mental fog, lifting that, okay? It clears negative mental energy associations with jealousy or negative self-talk, confusing mental chatter, just general chaos. Emotionally, it helps draw out dark, negative emotions so they can be released. You know, if you're going to be doing any releasing work at this full moon, you might want to work with a piece of tourmalated quartz. I think is a lot gentler than black tourmaline. She says that black tourmaline is useful for deflecting electromagnetic frequencies emitted from cell phones and computers and other electronic devices. It just helps you release any energetic cords that are attached to your past. So this is a crystal book that I like. You don't hear too much about it, but anyway, on to the spread. So, should we work with the native heart or should I work with the Guild Tarot? I haven't done a walkthrough of this. Let's see. Let's try the Guild. Okay. So as I said, I'm going to put the link to Anthony so you guys can do this full moon in Aries spread. But I have a full moon spread. It's just 3 cards. It's just 3. And let me see. The 3 questions are, what should I be thankful for? The second question is, what loose ends do I need to tie up? And the third question is, what illusions do I need to let go of? So, let's see here. I'm going to give this a good shuffle because it's brand new. If you want to see a walkthrough of this, oops, no. Katie Flowers and Chris of Slip the Trap, I believe, have done walkthroughs of this deck. I don't know why we were having such a hard time getting this deck from US Games shipped to us. I do feel that they're forcing us to order from their website. It has been, it's just been released. The book was released and available long before the deck. All right, so here we go. 3 cards. What should I be thankful for at this full moon? Well, I'm thankful for you guys. I'm thankful to have you guys come to my channel and listen to me blather on about all of this stuff. Thank you, thankful that you've allowed me into your life. Okay, let's see. I think I've given this a good shuffle now. Yes? All right. So, what should I be thankful for? I'll split it and we'll take it from the top and you guys will see it first. Oh my goodness. This is card number 9. This says prudence, and I'm going to say that this is what, 9 of coins? And prudence. My focus, my tenacity. Let me see. The 9 of coins, my ability that I have employed to create what I want by being clear about what it is that I wanted to achieve. You know, hard work, putting my dreams into reality. I'm looking at the clouds, and there are 9 clouds there as well. So I feel like this is bringing my dreams down, grounding my dreams, you know, grounding down my airy thoughts and making it into something, bringing them into something that's tangible, something that I can actually see, something that is manifestation. That's what I should be thankful for, the power of manifestation, the ability of making my dreams come true. I am solely responsible for that. I haven't relied on anyone else to do that for me. So That I am thankful. Okay. What loose ends do I need to tie up? Well, I'm at 28.46. I need to type this video, right? Okay. What loose ends do I need to tie up? Ooh. Okay. I'm going to split the deck. And let's see. Loose ends. This is satiety, and it's the Four of Cups. Well, I mean, I'm thinking something. It's a little private. At this full moon, I really need to get on with it. I need to make sure that I'm not so overly emotional or overly dramatic. The Four of Cups are overflowing. Maybe I need to get to a place where I do feel satisfied. Let me see. What loose ends do I need to tie up? You know, at some point, I guess you have to say, like, I'm done. I've had enough. I'm full. I need to enjoy myself. I need to just relax. I need to be mindful of overindulging. I'm going to go back to that. I'm going to see what that means as a loose end to tie up. And what illusions do I need to let go of? I might actually look in the book and see what the author says or the creator said about that Four of Cups. What illusions do I need to let go of? What illusions do I need to let go of? Wow. Six of Swords. The illusion could be that, you know, we always say, if I lose 10 pounds, I will do this. If I move to a bigger house, I will have this. If I get a better car, I will do this. When I get the better job, I will do this. When I find the right person, the right partner, then I can do this. And the illusion, you know, is about change. And the change can occur wherever I am, within me, where I am right now at this point. Like, I don't have to wait for anything to happen. That is an illusion. One of the things I like to say is no one is guaranteed the next moment. You know, all we have right now is this moment. So I don't need to wait until, oh, I lose 5 pounds or I get a better car or I move into a bigger house. There are some things that I actually do need to take care of, that I can bring into my life to improve some things. So yeah, that really does speak on that. So I'm going to take a look at what the author says in regards to this card, the Four of Cups, and see if it resonates. I know what the Four of Cups means. We all know what? Boredom, disgust, displeasure. I mean, I could be just, you know, sitting on the tree and just reserving myself. Let me see. I want the Four of Cups. Four dark cups overflowing yet empty. Set against the blue-black of the brie and chesed. The unhold or unheld liquid collects in a pool at the bottom of the pitcher. Oh dear, this goes way, way deep. The vices of the sphere and their view of themselves as richly completed entities in their own right. There's a lot of biblical stuff. Maybe I should have looked in this book. It says here, Revelation. which paints a symbolic parallel to the overflowing cups of satiety that are in fact empty. Okay. Because you say, I am rich and increased with goods and have need of nothing, and I don't know that I am actually wretched and miserable, poor and blind and naked. You know, I'm not really a loose end. I see that. Okay. All right. Loose end, like I said, I do have a lot that I should be thankful for. I have more than enough, and maybe that's a loose end. Be grateful. Be in that place of gratitude. Just make sure that I stay on top of my gratitude game. That's what this talks about. So with that, guys, I am complete. Let me see. Did I cover everything? We made it from new moon to full moon. Yes, we're at the halfway point in this whole entire cycle. Chime in. Let me know how everything's going. Again, as I said, try a blue candle this full moon cycle. See how that works for you. And I will talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.